Hey guys, welcome back to the Motor Grow Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I believe this is episode number 72, getting close to that 100 mark on episodes on the Motor Grow Podcast. My name is Phil, if you don't know already, and we are headed out. It is May 31st, 2:38 p.m. on a beautiful afternoon. It's 72 degrees Fahrenheit currently, and the only reason I say this is because if I'm ever going to re-listen back to these podcast episodes myself, which is highly unlikely, but you never know. I just want, for the record, the time and the temperature in the day of recording this episode. And it's good for you guys. I guess it gives you kind of a perspective of what weather we're working with. Well, it's beautiful and sunny. It's actually really hot. And the reason for that is, some of you might say, well, 72 is not that bad. I wish I got 72. Well, we've been getting a lot of cold temperatures and rain lately, so 72 is hot for us. I'm in my shirt right now. I'm not mowing in a shirt. I never wear shirts. Like, I have shirts, but I don't ever wear shirts when I'm out mowing because I like to wear long sleeves. I cover myself from the skin when I'm out working. When I'm out doing estimates, I like wearing shirts. I don't like to be all sweaty, but when I'm working, it don't matter. But when I work, I like to protect my skin from sun rays, whether that be putting on sunscreen, wearing a long sleeve, putting on sunscreen on the face, wearing like a neck gaiter to protect the neck, which I really need to do that more often, and wear long fishing pants, which they're super lightweight and they're breathable and they protect, your legs from first getting hit with rocks when you're trimming or edging, that is. And second, again, they protect you from the sun rays. So I'm just being safe. That's what I do. That's what I've chosen to do. And so right now we are headed out. Cool thing today is I finished early. It's a Tuesday, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays are pretty easy right now. They are my Idaho clients, and so I only have 10 or 11. I had 10 today. I picked up one. It was a drive-by. The lady said, hey, I have this property that we are renting out. Could you go? It's like literally right there. Could you get me an estimate for weekly lawn mowing service? I'm like, yeah. So, and I quickly filtered them out. I'm like, hey, yeah, we charge minimum $50. It's going to be $50 if it's a very small property, front and back. And we do it only on a weekly basis. And so she's like, yep, it sounds great. And so I went over after I was done with the 10th one. I went over, I looked at it, and we talked. And there was like, the way the contractor made it was, it's two separate homes on one piece of property. And the property itself is small, and they're tiny rental homes. And I bet you these homes are going to be rented out for like $2,000 a piece or something ridiculous now. But I went over and I'm like, all right, it's going to be a minimum 50. And she's like, all right, great, awesome. She's like, hey, are you interested in more properties? And I guess she's like, she's either I think she's a property manager or she's the owner. I don't know. I kind of didn't clarify with her. And so she's like, I got like 4 more properties I can send you over. I'm like, sounds like a plan. Send them over, and she wants full service, but I told her, hey, we're strictly, like right now, if you guys don't know me already, if you don't know me on a personal level, with my business, we're primarily focusing on just mowing, like weekly lawn mowing service. We're trying to be as profitable as we can be, and that's our core competency. And all the other services, even like fall cleanups, we still offer those services, but not at this time. All those other services we're pushing into fall and spring. So right now it's all mowing. It's mowing season. That's our hot item right now, and that's what we're basically only trying to provide for our clients. I know I may sound like I'm losing a lot of money, but guys, when you are in the business and you have found what you're good at, then you can be very profitable, very successful with just providing that service. I listened to a podcast recently of this guy that had a $25 million gutter cleaning business, and all he did was strictly gutter cleaning, no pressure washing, no driveway pressure washing cleanup or nothing like that. strictly cleaning gutters. It's like the #1 guy in New Jersey or something like that. I heard it on Paul Jameson's podcast. But see, we can, and I'm not trying to be like a millionaire just mowing, company. I mean, I'm not trying to grow, but when you have like fully had, or when you have like, I guess you could say, you specialize in one specific service and you just master it, and you know how to be very profitable, there's no problem with that. And you can eliminate all the other services that you used to offer and just offer that one, and fill in your schedule and build it enough to where you're maybe offering or servicing 80 clients and they're all within like a 5-mile service radius, and you're charging like $60 minimum. I mean, that's my goal. And everyone's got a credit card on file and it's like streamlined. That's my goal. I mean, and if you got that kind of business and you love it, let me know in the comments down below. I know we're going to be posting this onto YouTube and onto obviously the podcast. So if you're not watching the video, if you're listening via audio, you're really not missing anything except just watching me talk. And so we're probably about, I'd say 2-3 minutes away from the first property. But yeah, going back, she gave me 4 extra properties. So I went home, I changed, I dropped off my trailer to save gas. And I'm going right now to view the first one. And they're all in my area. They're all in the Idaho area. So I'm not trying to get any more clients in Coeur d'Alene. And they are all in the area that I want them to be in, if that makes sense. I'm sure that makes sense. So, but when I look at properties, I'm looking at, when I first show up to a home to give an estimate, I first look at where it's located. Like, is it located on a busy street? Is there good parking? If there's no good parking, if you park in the back where it's like a one-way, I sometimes don't even want to take on those properties because they're a hassle. But before I lose my focus and miss the house, I'll put you guys on pause. I'll go look at the property and let you guys know what it looks like and if I want to take it on or not, which more than likely it looks pretty easy enough. It's going to be a minimum with all these homes that are all similar. So I'll be right back. All right. So it's a minimum for sure. So our minimum's $50, right? That's mow, trim, edge, and blow. This is just a very tiny front yard. It's going to be a minimum. And I project it to take us like 7-8 minutes. But minimum's a minimum, guys. Don't ever feel bad that you feel like you're charging way too much for something that's going to take you, 7-8 minutes. Don't ever feel bad. If your minimum is 50, charge 50. If your minimum is 60, charge 60. That's what a minimum is for. And I know it seems like, man, I'm only going to be there for like 8 minutes. Why don't I charge? No, charge your minimum, all right? Don't ever feel bad. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I look at these properties. Some of these new cookie cutter style lawns are so tiny. It's like, oh, people are fishing. I didn't even know this was a fishing spot. It's a nice place. All right, for those of you that are missing it, that are watching online, sorry, you are now missing out on a beautiful view of Coeur d'Alene River. Anyways, going back to the topic, we're going to the second one, and I really do hope that this new property manager, I believe it's a property manager, will accept these estimates. She did say that her previous lawn guy is getting old and he's not, not doing the best job. And hey, business is business. I'm not going to feel sorry for taking someone else's business. If we do a better job than they do, then, it is what it is. That's why some customers fire their lawn care guys, because they start slacking. And I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about the quality of cut. I know some people older folks that are lawn care business owners, and they do pristine work, and then I know some that are just terrible, and they have poor equipment, poor cut quality, and they don't edge, they don't, sometimes they skip trimming. And so it's like, if you can't have someone that you can depend on, there's no reason to keep them around. They're just going to fire you. And if you're like that, guys, if you are that way, I'd highly suggest you to restructure your business and restructure the way you are doing and offering mowing services. And I guess this can go with any type of service, but specifically, I'm talking to the mowing audience. If you guys are not offering, if you are offering weekly lawn mowing service that includes mowing, trimming, edging, and blowing, you better offer that every single week. Because if you show up and you think that it doesn't need to be edged, guess what? The customer thinks it needs to be edged every single week, and they expect you to edge it every single week. Why? Because you told them that you would. You made a promise. You made a commitment. You had them sign a contract or a proven estimate stating that you will service it every single week, and maybe you didn't. But I'm just saying, if you did that, you better offer the edging every single week, because then they'll point it out. And that's the worst, is when they point to you like, hey, I noticed that you skipped this last week or today. Why didn't you do that? And then callbacks are the worst. Then you got to go and actually, fix your mistakes. So that, it's better to avoid that completely. It's better to avoid that completely. You never want to call back. You always want to be professional. You want to do what you said you would do, right? So you want to be a man of your word. And if you say that you offer that, you better offer it. You know what I mean? So headed out to the second one. I just wanted to talk about that. What else can we talk about? I want to kind of extend it. It's only 12 minutes. I feel like I've said a ton. Oh, I have 2 new videos coming out on the Moto Grow channel. Yeah, that's right. This one that you're watching, if you're watching on YouTube, 2 new videos are going to come out soon, and they actually might come out before this podcast gets released. So maybe those videos have been released already if you haven't checked them out. One is about all of my steel gas-powered and battery-operated equipment, and I showcase my whole collection, which is pretty nice. It kind of gives you an idea of what I have and what I started with. And there was one piece of equipment that my first trimmer that I started out with that I don't have anymore is a FS45. It was a curved shaft trimmer. And then I upgraded to a straight shaft FS55. So I went from a 45 to a 55. I no longer have those. I sold them. And my third trimmer that I got was a steel FS90. And I got it for the gas, the increase in fuel, the bigger gas tank, and the power increase for some of the... I wasn't even doing overgrown properties at that. Well, I guess I was, but I wasn't making videos 4 years back when I started. But I wanted the FS90 for more power. I guess it was 3 years ago that I got it. So, but that's a very good trimmer to start out with. If you guys are wanting to, if you're thinking about starting a lawn care business and thinking of, what trimmer should I get? If you are into the Steel brand, and if you have a really good dealer, a Steel dealer, and they carry a lot of parts in stock, and they can always fix equipment super fast for you, and they're on top of their warranties, I'd recommend going with Steel and getting the FS91. They don't make the 90 anymore. It's an older model. I still have it. It's still rocking. But get the 91. It's a very good trimmer. It might not be as lightweight as the FS56, but it's got a bigger gas tank. And if you're going to be doing this for a long term, I'd recommend going with the 91 instead of like a 56. I know the 56 is much cheaper. It's Man, I'd say it's around 100, maybe more dollars less. But hey, in the long run, you're going to be thankful that you're getting something that you're not regretting of buying. Does that make sense? So something that you won't regret in the future. Because then you might be like, man, I should have bought something a little bit more powerful. Man, I should have bought something with a little bit bigger gas tank, So you don't want those things arising. And even if they do arise, you're going to, well, they won't arise if you buy the 91. So they will arise if you buy the 56. Any cheaper unit that you buy, you'll run into problems with. That's the thing that I've learned in my, in the lifetime of me being a solo lawn care business owner. 2 or 3 years ago, I bought the Hustler. It's not even a commercial line, zero turn. It's the highest end residential that they offered. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I save a little bit of money. It's not the cheapest one, but it's also not like a commercial high end one, which, at that time they were still pretty expensive. So I'm like, might as well save $1,000 and get a high-end residential. Well, guess what? A year later or 2 years later down the road, I started regretting buying it. Hey, trust me, a zero turn is a zero turn. It saved me so much time. I'm not like, I guess I did regret buying it, but I did not I had no complaints because I went from a riding mower to a zero turn, and it was a night and day difference. And I was just blessed enough to even have a zero turn. I know some people don't have one, and they're like, they got to use a riding mower or just push mowers, which is, that's how we started. That's how we all started. So there's nothing wrong with that. And one day, maybe you just starting out and you are on a rider and you're listening to this. Hey, God has many plans for you and your future and your business. And if you truly put your head into it, put your head in the game, save up enough money, and buy a zero turn, everything's possible, and you will do it. Don't ever have doubts like, oh no, I know I'll never get to that point. No, don't ever put your head in the sand. And someone was playing their music too loud. But see, when you do truck podcasts, you kind of get sidetracked a lot. But how far away is this property? Oh, 7 minutes away. So you got to consider it in your routes. When I go and create these estimates, I'm like, all right, where do I place this lawn? Are you guys picking that up? Someone was playing their music so loud. I think of where I'm placing these properties as I'm driving to them, because you can have a property that's out of your service area and you might just say no to it. The property might have, like we were talking about, it might be there might not be any parking for you. And then you're like, well, what's the point of me even coming out here and providing service for this property when I can't even find a good parking spot? I have to park like a block away. Nobody wants to do that. I had a client one time, very good client, card on file, always paid on time, but the property was on a main street where there was no parking on the side of the road. Her driveway was super tiny, and again, her driveway was on a main road, and so you can't just stop and reverse into the driveway. I mean, you can, but you'll hold up traffic like crazy, and I'm not that type of guy. And so you had to park a block away and carry all your equipment. Like I had a zero turn, I'd put the blower on the foot platform and have the trimmer right in between my elbow on the armrest, and I was just driving down to that property, and then you have to drive back when you're done with servicing that property. And it was just such a headache, so if you ever when you go do your estimates, take that into consideration. Is there good parking? Or are there a bunch of vehicles on the side of the roads, and I'll never have any place to park my truck and trailer? If you're not with a trailerless setup, you're gonna have to take that into consideration, is parking every single week. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. Speaking of water, I'm going to stop buying water because I think it's just a waste of money now. I was talking to you guys about switching over to Fiji water. Well, now I'm going to be buying oh man, hold up. Sorry. There's this big truck in front of me, gravel truck, and it's near the exit. I didn't want to pass it. I'm going to go behind him, play it safe, and take the exit. He might take the exit as well. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, water. Yeah, I'm going to save money by just not buying anymore. I mean, it's pointless. You spend $5 when you can. We have a good water filter in our refrigerator, and I'm just going to fill up 2 big containers full of water every single morning and take them with me. I mean, I'm kind of done with water bottles. Let me know if you guys purchase water or just use water from home. So, headed out to the second one. What else did I want to talk about? I think that's it. I hope you guys are having a good one. We're staying so busy. I have like no time for anything. Oh, one more thing. I guess in regards to YouTube. I went out yesterday and I was just driving by. You know, I didn't have a property that I was going to service, and it was kind of raining that day yesterday, and so I was kind of debating on what I should do for a Monday. So I just went out trying to look for an overgrown property, find someone that needs help, and I found one. It's a older lady. I don't know if she's disabled. I think she is disabled because there was like one of those, not a wheelchair, but like one of those hand assist carts or whatever they're called. And so she was an older lady, and she didn't even open her door. She opened one of her windows. She's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Hey, I noticed that your property's overgrown. I do free yard makeovers. I was wondering if I can be a blessing and mow your grass for free." She's like, "Oh, what?" And she was like all shocked, and she's like, "Yes, thank you so much. You're an answer to prayer." And then she explained like why she couldn't. Apparently her equipment's broken down, her mower's broken down, her trimmer kind of works, but it's running real rough. And I mean, the yard's a disaster. I'll show you guys probably in 2 weeks what it looks like, because I do have a video set for this Sunday. Whenever this gets released, that is. Again, maybe the video will be released already. Let these people cross through. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I thought about doing it today, but again, with this new lady reaching out needing estimates, I figured that I'd just do it tomorrow. And I told her I'd do it either today or tomorrow, because it was raining Monday and it was completely soaking wet. And I said, hey, let's let this dry up, and so that way your yard is ready to go for, Tuesday, Wednesday we'll show up and do it. So she's like, all right, that sounds like a plan. Thank you so much again. You don't have to do it. I'm like, no, don't worry. I'll take care of it for you. So that is going to be released. Where do I turn here? Oh, I guess, yeah, Coeur d'Alene Avenue. So again, that's going to be released. Stay tuned for that video. New YouTube videos on the Phil's Lawn Care channel come out every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys can, catch them, all right? Anyways, I'm here at the second property. Got 2 more to do. I'm just going to go ahead and end this one. It's been about 25 minutes or so. Anyways, guys, take care. God bless you. And we'll see you in the next one. Perfect timing.